Hello, hello, YouTube. Welcome back to our Avatar The Last Airbender set review. Today, we're going to be doing all of the multicolor cards, and this is actually our final video. So if you guys missed the colors or colorless, make sure you guys check those out as well. We've got Yanks on the call. How you doing, Yanks?
Good. How about you?
Good, good. I'm excited to see all of the big finale here because the multicolor cards have the most powerful cards. I expect to see the most synergistic and most flavorful cards because the multicolor cards are always very exciting, right?
And it'll help give us a handle on like what some of the color pairs that we're still not 100% sure what their theme is or how supported they are. We'll get to see some of that here.
Yeah, we'll get to see how powerful their like signposts are, which might push over some of those unsupported themes over the top. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump right in. And to start, we've got Aang at the Crossroads. It is 2 in Bant for a 3/3 with flying. It's an ally. When Aang enters, look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may put a creature card with mana value 4 or less from among them onto the battlefield. Put the rest onto the bottom in a random order. When another creature you control leaves the battlefield, transform Aang at the beginning of the next end step. Okay. He'll transform into Aang, the Destined Savior. 4/4 flyer. Land creatures you control have vigilance, and at the beginning of your combat on your turn, Earthbend 2. This
So
like
the
flavor
first,
wise for whatever everything we see
yeah.
here, I was expecting this card to be super juiced.
What is this in the story
I
supposed
mean,
to be?
it's just Aang going into the Avatar state and earthbending. I'm guessing this is sub I don't know what the crossroads are. I'm wondering if this is the Earth Kingdom outpost. For those of you who are on YouTube, leave us a comment. Let me know. Is this
So
when the general takes Katara and puts her underground? That's why I'm thinking it might be earthbending themed on the backside.
so I think again, this is all. I'm only getting this from the way the cards are made, not from watching much of the show. But he progressively throughout the show learns the different types of bending, right?
Correct.
And when he starts with airbending,
Well, he starts knowing he's already a master,
knowing airbending, yeah.
and so
So
the
we
first
have,
thing you see him learn is water.
which makes sense because we'll see the very next card is an Azorius Aang, right?
Okay.
And we had mono white Aangs, where so I guess the idea being he can just airbend at that point. Azorius is waterbended themed, so is the one he learns after Water Earth.
Yes.
So I guess this would be whatever point in the story he learns to earthbend or becomes
Yes.
a master of it or something, right?
Well, so in the card, he's in the avatar state. And when you're in the avatar state, even when you don't know the bending, you can bend all of the elements. I know that doesn't make a
Okay.
lot of sense. So
No,
episode
no,
like
it does,
one
but
episode 1 or 2, he goes into avatar state and bends like stuff he doesn't know how to bend. So
okay. I guess
because the
why
card
do we
has him
go ahead.
because the card has him in the avatar state, technically he could do all of those things at any point in the story, regardless of whether or not he knows earthbending.
So okay, so why do we again this is part B maybe because I don't know the show, but why do we think he's in the Avatar state?
Uh, because he's his tattoos and eyes are glowing, and then on the
Okay.
back side he's in the avatar state. You can see that's what the
Okay.
avatar state looks like.
Okay. I guess I just assumed the way these are or maybe all the backsides are supposed to be in the Avatar state, but the
Also, usually the Aang cards, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure they did not say avatar on them, and one of them even turned into an avatar. There's a card that turns something into an avatar. I think that might be Commander though. And so both of these being an avatar suggests, I believe, avatar
the
state.
the mono white one is Avatar as well,
Oh, yeah, and
even
he's
though it
not
doesn't
glowing
fall.
there. You're right.
Yeah.
And he's not glowing, but that is the case here.
Okay, so I guess because I know we'll come across it. I mean, it was the card that was previewed almost first, right? The four color Avatar Aang, where you see where he's got firebending too. But I guess the storyline it's per um, it's supposed to progress, and as he learns, that's the theme of the card, I guess. Right. So in this case, it's earthbending. We'll see waterbending the next one, firebending, fourth one.
I just was gonna take a quick peek here at I think there's an episode called "The Crossroads of Destiny." Is I think specifically an episode.
Okay.
I was just trying to see which episode that is to see if it maybe like implies what is going on in the story. But either way, that is not important. I expected based on the art, and I was expecting this to be a pretty juiced card, and I don't think that's the case. It's still good, but it is hard to cast. Rating wise, you do get an extra card.
Yeah, you could be getting pretty large amount of mana value for just playing 5. You could really be getting like 3/3 flyer maybe isn't worth 5, but maybe it's worth 4, so maybe you're getting 8 potentially if you hit a 4-drop.
Yeah, I mean, I would argue
6 or 7.
I would argue it's not worth 1 in Bant.
Sure, but I agree. This also has the backside of the card.
Yeah.
Which is pretty nuts, right? Like every turn you get a 2/2 or +2/+2 to something.
At the beginning of combat on your turn. Yeah, I mean, I think it's fine. It's interesting that you think this one is strong, because I remember, I'm trying to think of which one it was. Was it Roku? Where, like, it gave you the fire bending and and it makes dragons, and you thought that was pretty weak, and you're saying this one's busted, whereas I'm the opposite. I think this is fine. I don't think it's bad, but I think Roku's stronger.
I think the difference to me for Roku is Roku had to attack. This can just sit there, and this has flying anyway, so even if it did have to attack, that would be fine. And it makes it every turn on its own, where Roku needs help to make the first one.
I mean, help as in the 4 mana that you spent to cast him in the first place. Like, you have it.
And potentially sacrificing himself in the attack.
Maybe, yeah. So much higher upside, though, and so much easier to cast. And what's to say they don't just bolt this? There is a lightning strike in the format.
Yeah, you're still up a card at that point.
If you hit.
If you hit.
Like,
creature cards 4 or less in the top 5 is not 100% for sure, but it's pretty decent odds. That's most of the creatures in your deck, and creatures are probably about half your deck.
Since when are creatures half your deck?
I said you, not me.
You're definitely whiffing on this. You have 4 creatures total, 2 of which meet this requirement.
This card has green in it. I'm not playing it.
Yeah, I think this is pretty underwhelming given the mana cost. We'll see how reasonable 3-color decks are. I think it's going to be fine. Sure. We did see enough lessons and fixing in green that makes me happy enough. But this doesn't make me jump up and down to splash. Like, I think this is solid, but unless the splash is free, like I've already I could pick this up kind of free and then find a few pieces of fixing. I don't think this is all that important. I think it's a good card, but it's very far from a 10.
Oh, it's not a 10. I definitely agree with that. Yeah, the mana cost is we don't know in the fixing yet. That is fair.
Well, technically we do. The internet thinks we do.
We don't know how it's going to play out, though.
Yeah.
Like how often you're really going to end up with the lands to support a 3rd color. Although, like you said already, being in green does help.
Yeah, there was a lot of lessons. You had more than enough things that searched out a land. So I don't expect that to be difficult. I just don't know that this is still good. I'm going to say this is... I'm going to say this is an 8.
Okay, that's where I was going to put it too, so.
Like, my instinct is 7.5 because I don't like it. But realistically, it is strong enough. There's just a lot of reasons where I would still not want to pick it up because I'm like, okay, well, my deck is already like has a lot of double pips. I'm not really interested in splashing, and the payoff, while good, there's too many risks associated with it that you're not guaranteed those hits, that I don't think it's going to be worth it some of the time.
That's
But
fair, and to some degree, we always kind of bake in a little bit, not entirely. We do talk about restrictive mana costs, but we do bake in a little bit with the multicolor cards that you're in a deck that can play the card.
yeah,
More so for your 2-color, obviously, and then when we get to a 4-color card, of course, that's a very different story. So
yeah,
I like it around an 8 too.
I always bake in the 2-color ones, right? I assume we're
Yeah,
talking about this in the colors that you're playing it. But for
yeah.
3 colors, that's not true. I weigh out whether or not, like, how worth it is it for me to go through the effort of having the splash color. And I think this one is worth it, but only just.
Yeah, that's fair. In the end, the figuring out outside of things like Tarkir, where it's in Streets of New Capenna, where it's very obviously designed to be a 3-color set.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of times hard to determine how easy it is to splash until you actually get your hands on the set.
Absolutely. Yeah. And don't get me wrong, I'm 100% playing this if I'm deep in green and already have
Yes.
3 fixers. Like, that's a non-question. The question is like, if I'm Azorius and pack 3
Exactly.
pick this and I don't have any green fixing, am
Yeah.
I going to bend over backwards and risk my mana base or risk bad games to put this in the deck? And I think the answer for me is no. If I'm Selesnya or
Selesnya or
Simic,
Simic, yeah.
then it's like, okay, this is going to be a pretty easy thing. Slam it in for sure.
Yeah. I agree. You are definitely more likely to play it at either of those spots.
Aang Swift Savior, 3 mana for a 2/3 flash flying. Aang enters, airbend up to one other target creature or spell, and you can waterbend 8 to transform Aang. He goes from being a 2/3 flyer to a 5/5 reach and trample. Whenever Aang and La attack. Okay, because it's Aang and La. I see. I was confused for a second there. Put a +1/+1 counter on each tapped creature you control. I didn't read the name, so I was like, oh, we need to have La in the, like, we need to find La as well to have them both attack. That seems absurd. On each tapped creature, that's pretty neat. So this is the story of this is the end of chapter book 1, where the Fire Nation is attacking the Northern Water Tribe, and Aang effectively goes into the Avatar state and turns into this crazy spirit thing. And you can see him inside, and he just like polywallops and kills all these things without really knowing that he's like doing it necessarily. He doesn't have that power at any point in the show. This seems good.
This card. I like, again, from my limited knowledge of the show, I like the flavor of, he enters. If this is supposed to be like when he's learning and mastering waterbending, when he enters the battlefield, he's airbending, which is all he knows at that point, and then later he can waterbend, which I think is kind of cool.
He definitely knows how to waterbend at this point. You could see him doing it on the front side of the card, because they're at the Northern Water Tribe learning waterbending.
Sure.
Yeah. And so just after the fight is when the kids leave.
He's mastered it to the point that he can turn into this monster or crazy beast
spirit. No. Because remember what I said about the Avatar state. You don't have to know any of the elements in order to do the thing. When the Avatar state, so when you're in the Avatar state, you have the combined power of all of the previous avatars. You have all of their power and knowledge. So when you are in the Avatar state, which is not a thing that you can control necessarily. Some can, especially when they've mastered the Avatar state. But most avatars, it's sort of like a death reflex. Like when you're in severe danger, you go into the Avatar state and they don't even know or have control over themselves. It's sort of all of their past lives together doing the thing. So that's what happens when he flips and does this and turns into this water spirit amalgamation. He's not really in control. He doesn't have the power to do this himself.
All right. The Avatar state is just the ultimate Deus Ex Machina.
He has gone Super Saiyan.
Yeah, like he can just anytime they need to come up with the reason he can do something, that happens.
Yeah, it's usually very close to death, and that's for young avatars. When you become a full-fledged avatar, you can control it. You can go in and out of the avatar state as you like. In the Legend of Korra, she goes into the avatar state to win like a foot race. And her master's like, don't fucking do that. Like, what's wrong with you? It's not a toy. So anyway, also I wanted to show you guys. Someone in chat said justice for Law. Look at this necklace. It spins. It's beautiful. It's my newest thing. It was actually gifted to me from Rock Love Jewelry. I haven't taken photos or posted about it yet, but I love it. They know I'm a big Avatar fan. Anyway, let's talk about rating. Oh god, Multicolor is going to be a long fucking video.
Yeah, it is.
Jesus Christ, I'm so sorry, guys. I think this card is great. I like the 3 mana for a 2/3. It's only 2 colors. It has flash, which is a banger. Enters and airbends. This is excellent. I like this better than I like the other card.
It's got very Spellcaller vibes, right? Because you get to exile a spell on the stack too. Not quite the same because they can recast it, but
I like
instead of waiting for the Queller to die. But that's what this card reminds me of.
I like this card better than I like the other card.
Yeah, I think the other card's more powerful, but for its mana cost, sure.
I mean, I think the other one has a bit of a higher ceiling.
Yes.
If all things go right, but I think this one is just better on its face. Like, just slam this, curve this out, like, feels excellent.
Yep, I think this card's very good. I guess I like the backside on the other one a little more, but the backside on this is good.
Yeah. I am going to say that I'm also going to give this an 8.
I think that's fair. A lot of times you'll get to ambush something, or at least re-trigger an ETB with the airbend, or, sort of remand the spell for a turn.
The tempo, the evasion, it flips real well. It's easy to cast. I like everything about this card.
Yep.
All right.
Very good.
Sweet. Next up, we have a lesson, instant speed, 2 mana, abandon attachments. You may discard a card. If you do, draw 2 cards. So this is just a really nice power corrupt whatever, right? This is just a reprint, but it has a hybrid mana, and it's a lesson.
Oh, are you thinking like Tormenting Voice?
Yeah.
It's a little different, right? In that it's not like discard is not part of the cost. So like if it got Aang Swift Savior, you're not out of card.
That's true.
But effectively, in limited, it's the same.
Yeah, I didn't even realize that the other one is a cost to cast. So another interesting thing too is like those ones, a lot of times in Constructed or whatever, I'll rip one of those and I can't cast it because I'm hellbent. Whereas this, if you want to just trigger like a spell thing, or if you want to get lessons in your bin, you can still cast this and just don't discard.
Yeah, 2 mana trigger something, and that's it.
So again, I was right. It is strictly better, right? It's like a power creep version of that spell. So I think these cards are always good. I like the flexibility on them. I like late game draw. I like that it's a lesson. So I'm here for it.
I don't know, man. This could be like Red Elemental Blasted, and the other one can't be.
What?
Because it's a blue card.
I see. You're getting sweaty on us.
Yeah, it's also better because it can pitch the Force of Will. So.
Oh my god. No, we're not playing that sweaty magic here. That's not true. Any format can be sweaty.
Yeah.
But I mean, Force of Will, come on. That's pretty sweaty. I think these are always playable, but only just cut them when you can. Hopefully you find better card draw. I think it's a 4.5. Unless you want lessons or spells specifically for Is It, which is what this is. This will obviously, I think, play much higher just because you want access to as many of these things as you can. But usually there's a very limited number of spaces for spells, instants and sorceries specifically, and this is usually not good enough.
Nope, it also can be nice in Dimir for the draw 2 cards.
Yeah.
It lets you trigger it on your opponent's turn.
Ooh. True. Instant speed, that is nice. Okay. What was your rating?
I think I think I'll put it at a 5 just because I like it's flexible enough. But you're right, it is still cuttable for
I
sure.
I think you're right at a 5. I think my thought was that like three of the color pairings, no, two of the color pairings don't want it and two of them do. So I was thinking like the low
Sure.
end was 4.5, but I wasn't even thinking about the double spell archetype. I was really only thinking of the lesson spellslinger one.
Yep.
So it actually doubles the decks. So in the two that it wants, I think it's closer to a 6, and in the ones that it doesn't, I think it's closer to a 4. So I think you're like right on the money for a
Sure.
5. Uh, Air Nomad Legacy, 2 mana for an enchantment. When this enters, create a clue token. Creatures you control with flying get +1/+1. Interesting. It's a big build around. The average deck is not going to want this, but you don't have to have a ton of flyers because it gives you a clue. You only need a few, right?
Yeah, it replaces itself and it gives you. I mean, I know it's got the airbending watermark, but it gives you something for waterbending with the clue
Yep.
or the draw 2 cards mechanic.
Hmm. I'm trying to think of how many flyers I would need to still want to run this. And with the clue and with the water bending abilities, I think that number is not that high.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't see one thing that's disappointing with card when you see a card like this is that there's no spirit tokens or stuff like that in the format that
Yeah,
would
there
make this
there
that would make
was
this
an
better.
equipment that gives flying, which we're definitely
Yes.
running. Um, there was a leap effect. I mean, that's all like pretty minor, but oh, I think that was a rare or mythic. There's Appa that gives flying.
Hmm. I'm scanning through just like white specifically, just out of curiosity to see how many flyers are in white, and I've got seven, but again, some of those are rares and mythics.
And there's going to be a good number in blue too.
Yeah, you figure there's about. I figured there's probably a similar number
Yeah. Um
plus your gold ones because
I with the clue token, how many I think this is a good way to approach this card. How many flyers do you want in your deck before you are willing to run this card? And with a clue token, I think that number for me is around 5
like 4 or 5, I
to
think.
where
Yeah,
I'm considering.
especially if you get any extra value out of the clue token, like the waterbending or
Yeah.
the draw 2 cards, because you'll have some mono blue ones that'll have that effect.
Yeah, I think there's going to be enough fringe waterbending and fringe draw a second spell card or draw a second card spells that make this just fine to help out those things incidentally that giving my flyers a buff is worth it. So yeah, I would say my number is probably around 5. I'm starting to consider this card. 4, not so much. Rating
Yeah,
wise, in Azorius, I think that's actually pretty reasonable. I think the average deck is going to have 3 to 6 flyers in specifically Azorius. So I see this being played reasonably often. I'm going to give it like a 6.
a 6. Yeah, in the Orzorius deck, which is all we're talking. So
Yep.
yeah,
It's what Azorius is trying to do, so it checks out.
agreed.
Avatar Aang, we've got Aragon mana, and it's a 4/4 ally, firebending
Wait,
2 with flying. Whenever you
wait.
waterbend, earthbend, firebend, and airbend, draw a card. And if you have done all 4 of those things this turn, you transform it. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that the average deck is not doing all of those things
No,
in the same turn.
no, definitely not. I mean, I guess this lets you firebend on its own, so you have to find a way to do the other 3.
Yeah, but that means this also has to survive the attack. I don't know, that's a lot.
Sure.
So I'm gonna go out on a limb and say I don't care about the backside. Hypothetically, it's a 6/6 flyer that at the beginning of each upkeep, you may transform Aang, Master of Elements. If you do, gain 4 life, draw 4 cards, put 4 counters on him, and he deals 4 damage to each opponent.
If you get to the beginning of your opponent's upkeep, because it's each upkeep, with this out, you just win, basically.
Yep. This is definitely a cookie card. Like we're gonna try.
Sure.
Certainly gonna try. But I think the front side is fine, but I'm not interested in a 4-color deck.
No, I think that's the big problem. If you somehow have the mana to play a 4-color deck, you probably have a reasonable amount of each of the bendings in them. Especially with this having fire, like you have like the mono Ang theme deck with the the
Mm-hmm.
other versions. But yeah, the mana is tough.
Yeah. Rating wise, I don't know that I care to give this a particularly good rating. Because again, I think
No,
the average deck certainly can't run this. So,
no, this is the average deck. This is like a 1 or a 2 because you're just not playing it. But
and the funny thing is
you'll
you're
have
going to
fun with it.
try, and your deck's going to be utter garbage because of it.
Yes, but you win one game by doing it. You don't care.
I
Like you
mean,
had your fun.
drafts are expensive, man. I care. I'm gonna call this. Yeah, I like it at a 2. The average deck's just not doing it. Build around. It's gonna be fun. Some people can pull it off, and you're gonna get real mad when they do. But they're gonna spend a lot of money trying to do it multiple times and failing. So
We
2.
do. I'll say we do know that there is a set of common tap dual lands, so there are a reasonable amount of fixing in the set.
But 4-color
But
decks are rough.
agreed, you really need to have like tri lands for that to really be functional.
Yeah. Azula, Cunning Usurper. 5 mana for a 4/4 with Firebending 2. Interesting to see Firebending on a card that has
On the,
no red in the identity, which is interesting.
we saw that it's on some mono black cards, but it's interesting to see it on a Demir card.
That's true. When Azula enters, target opponent exiles a non-token creature they control. Then they exile a non-token card from their graveyard. When Azula enters, target opponent exiles a non-token creature they control. Then they exile a non-token card from their graveyard.
Non-land card.
Non-land card. During your turn, you may cast cards exiled with Azula, and you may cast them as though mana, flash and mana of any type can be spent to cast them. Interesting. So you drop this, they're automatically killing their cheapest creature and giving you something out of their bin. And if you have Azula, you can cast those. That's a lot of value. And she gives you some extra mana, although it's a creature, so you can't cast that. And it's a non-land card, so it's most likely like another creature that you probably can't cast with the firebending magic.
You can cast them as though they had flash.
Oh, that's right. This card seems fantastic.
Agreed. This card's very good. This is the kind of edict type effect you're pretty happy with because regular ones are often not that great in limited because, as you pointed out, you just get their worst thing.
Yeah.
But if you get it stapled to a body and can steal it.
And it's kind of like their 2 worst things because you're going to get something out of the bin too.
And sometimes there's just not a lot of options in the bin.
And I don't care about trading her off because I can just cast some stuff in response to the blocks, and then now I have 3 for 1 to them, right? I've killed their creature, I've traded with them, and I'm replaying a card from of theirs. So I mean that's a great deal. This feels game winning to me.
I think it certainly can be. I'm just
like this feels stronger than the first Ang. Like I think everything is stronger than that first Ang, honestly.
I guess the opponent can. I'd have to check see what the rules text say. I don't know what happens if the opponent exiles an earthbent creature.
Oh, but it says non-land.
No, a non-token creature.
Oh, but
it's not a token.
The one in the graveyard says non-land.
Yes, but I don't know about
those. Can't be earthbent anyway, so just ignore me.
I don't know which replacement effect takes over. Does it? Because normally earthbending says when it goes in exile, it comes back into play. It's happened.
Mm-hmm. It's a good question.
It doesn't say in the notes about Azula.
That feels like a pretty important thing to say, huh?
It might say it in the notes on earthbending specifically.
I know earthbending, like if you airbend their stuff, earthbending comes back. And if...
Yes.
So I'm guessing this is the same thing?
I would imagine that's my guess. but I don't. Yeah, I don't see any reason to think otherwise. So I would say that's probably right, especially given the airbending corollary. So if that's the case, like this is not as great against an earthbending deck because they'll just choose one of those.
Yep. But you still killed their creature and have a 4/4 body and maybe get something out of
True.
their bin.
Yeah, it's still very good.
8.
8.
All right, Beifong's Bounty Hunters. 4 mana for a 4/4. Whenever a non-land creature you control dies, Earthbend X, where X is that creature's power. So this just is infinite Earthbending, right? Because that creature dies and you Earthbend again, and that land comes back, and then you do it again and again and again. So you just like never lose any Earthbending value.
Wait, say that again.
Oh, this is non-land
It's
creature.
non-land, right? Okay, I want to make sure I was reading that right. Yeah, non-land.
I think I read it as whenever a land creature you control dies.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, this is stupid. Never mind. It's still really good.
Yeah, basically, anytime a creature dies, they have to face down another version of those stats.
Yep. And then you don't lose land in the process. I think everything is great. This is definitely what I want to be running in this archetype.
Especially if you have any sort of effects where you can control it, sacrifice effects or stuff like that, you could, sacrifice some creatures to create like a giant thing that gets through.
Yeah, I mean, black does have a lot of sacrifice stuff, so it sort of benefits you if you have any of the Rakdos half of the deck, right? The black side.
Yep, the black side.
So
yep.
then you're not punished as hard. I think this card is very, very good. It's exactly what I want to be doing in these colors. And if they don't kill it, it's a problem, man.
It's not another non-land creature, so when they kill this, you still get a 4/4.
Yeah. That's really good. And you could just sit back and keep making a good aggressive trades with other things, and you just get double the creatures if they don't have a removal for this specifically. And and like you said, it counts itself, so that's very, very good. This feels like it can win a game, but it doesn't feel as strong as the other cards, so it's not an 8, it's a 7.5.
I think I want to give it an 8 just because it's, other than Aang, it's the easiest to cast of any ones we've seen, and the cheapest. It's only 4. The others were 5 mana spells. And it's effectively a guaranteed 2-for-1, short of like an exile spell.
It's not cheaper than Aang Swift Savior.
No,
that card's
I said other than the Azorius Aang.
Oh, the Azorius Aang.
Yeah, the 5 mana Aang and the Azula, which are both 5 mana and harder to cast.
I actually still kind of like Azula better.
I think Earthbending is going to be really good.
I think so too. But I still like that one better. So
that's fair.
7.5. I think some of those other ones should have been 8.5s. Honestly, I feel like the range there, like I kind of just lumped a bunch of like 8 to 8.5, 8 to 9s into 8. So that gap is a little bit wider, but yeah, 7.5, only a half point difference.
8. Yep.
Bitter Work, 3 mana for an enchantment. Whenever you attack with a power, whenever you attack a player with 1 or more creatures with power 4 or greater, draw a card. You can exhaust and pay 4 to Earthbend 4. Activate only during your turn. Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, this is what Gruul wants, right? It's 4 power creatures.
It makes a creature on its own.
Yep.
It's sort of like a Garruk's Wildspeaker, or what is it? Garruk's Uprising?
Uprising, I think, yeah.
Yeah, it's like it does nothing. It could draw you a card on the spot, but this one kind of does too. You play it and then go into combat. You play it pre-combat. And it triggers multiple times. Like for Uprising, if you don't rip 4-powered creatures, you still only get that trigger one time. And you have to continue playing 4-drops, whereas this is not the case. And it comes with a built-in body, albeit you have to pay more for it, but I think I'm fine with that. So this feels very good to me. It feels like exactly what I want my Gruul stuff to be doing.
It does. These cards, they're good. I always find them a little interesting in Gruul because it feels, even though it's what Gruul wants to be doing, and also spending 3 mana on an enchantment doesn't feel like what Gruul wants to be doing. Like Gruul just wants to be beating you in the face.
Yeah, but Gruul, in order to beat you in the face, Gruul needs cards, and I feel like Garruk's Uprising is exactly what Gruul wants to be doing.
It definitely does actually fit like the strategy. It just, I don't know, it feels too smart for Gruul.
Draw card, hit you in face, draw card. Hit you harder, draw another card. I like it.
Why draw a card? Must hit hard.
6.5.
Sure.
Boomy Unleashed. Veggie just built this for the show, so you're going to see this commander on the channel very, very soon.
You made very clear the other day that you hate Boomy.
What? I did?
You didn't like Boomy. I liked Boomy.
Oh, you did. You liked that shitty Boomy. You liked that draft chaff Boomy. That was a bad call on your part. You bid on the wrong horse. But Boomy Unleashed is a 5 mana 5/4 with trample. When he enters, Earthbend 4. And whenever Boomy deals combat damage to a player, untap all lands you control. After this phase, there is an additional combat phase. Only land creatures can attack during that combat phase. This seems excellent. This is what a Boomy should look like, Yanks.
How was I supposed to know he was still leashed back then?
In the episodes, Aang thinks he's being very smart because he says you can fight whoever you point to, you will fight, because he's doing trials, and he brings out 2 like buff looking dudes, and Aang's like, so whoever I point to is my opponent, and Boomy's like, yep, and he's like, I'm gonna choose you, old man, and Boomy's like, wrong choice, and he like takes off his coat and he's like fucking
somebody didn't
buff as hell.
Discord when they went live.
And Aang's like, oh god, can I choose one of them? And Boomy's like, nah, there's no take-backsies in my kingdom. And then they have like an epic battle, and Boomy's swole as hell. And then then you learn he's 112 years old.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because he actually, Aang doesn't know this at the time, but he actually knew Aang as a kid. They were kids together. It's wild. Anyway, this card is great. 5 mana for a 5/4 that makes another 4/4 and has trample and maybe does something else. I'm in. This card wins games. I'm going to call that a 9.
I agree with the 9, but I'm confused. Like, how does he know Aang as a kid if he's 112?
Well, that's why, because Aang was frozen in ice for 100 years.
Oh, okay. That's right. Yep.
And so him and Aang were kids together, and now he looks like this.
Got it. Yep.
Cat Owl, 3 and a hybrid for a 3/3 flying cat bird. Whenever this creature attacks, untap target artifact or creature. This seems fine. I like it. It feels understated at this point, so I mean it's just a 5. There's a lot of 4-drops and a lot of good 4-drops, so space will be limited.
Pun intended.
No. I never intend the puns. I'm not smart enough.
I think this card's fine, right? We already saw Azorius is wanting to do the flyer thing, as it always does. Untap target artifact or creature is either just giving something pseudo-vigilance or helps with waterbending.
Yep.
But yeah, you're getting a little bit understated because the mana cost is so flexible.
Yep. And it does something that's kind of cool, and it's like, you know, one of 2 non-legendary creatures in the whole format, so it's not supposed to be a banger.
Yeah, sure.
You like it at a 5? Playable?
I think so. Yep.
Next up, we have the Cruel Administrator. 5 mana for a 5/4 human soldier. With Raid, this creature enters with a +1/+1 counter on it if you've attacked this turn. I tend to give these Raid abilities credit for triggering most of the time. Yeah, sometimes you'll top deck, whatever, but I feel like the decks are designed to do that, right? Like, if you're Rakdos, you're attacking. That's just kind of the premise of it. So I feel like the fail case is that you've missed, but more often than not you'll hit. So I'm gonna assume it's a 5-mana 6/5, which is like fine. And whenever this creature attacks, create a 2/2 red human soldier token with firebending 1. This feels good.
It's big enough that the fact that it has to attack doesn't feel bad like it does with some cards.
Yep. And even if it is trading, it's made a 2/2, which I feel like you've gotten more than your 5 mana's worth at that point.
And you've traded with something that's probably costs at least 4, if not more.
This is also the archetype that wants to be sacrificing things. So you're the extra body that's effectively free. If you get more than 1, you're in heaven. You've really, really done exactly what that deck wants to do. Combat tricks, instant speed removal, lightning strikes will prevent them from double blocking a 6/5. So I think this is actually a very, very solid card and exactly the kind of thing you're going to want to look for. This is as close to like a bomb, not at rare and mythic, as you're going to get. And honestly, this is better than most of the rares that we've seen.
I don't know. It does still have the issue of you just kill this, it's done nothing.
I mean, it's just an uncommon, certainly. I'm not saying it's insane, but this is just so well rounded and it doesn't cost 4 different colors of mana. Right? Like this is the level I like to play limited. These are the cards I like to get excited about. You want multiple copies of this in your deck. You're happy to run them. And it's synergizing very, very well with exactly what your deck's trying to do.
I mean, multiple copies. If I have 2 of these, that means I have at least 3 creatures in my deck, and that's too many.
I mean, Rakdos aggro's not your thing. But for some of us...
No, my Rakdos decks come with 17 kill spells.
It's very my thing. I love some Rakdos sacrifice goodness. So, rating-wise, I still don't think it's, it's an uncommon. I still think it's very good, though. I'm going to say it's a 6.5.
I think that's right. It's a very good card. You're never cutting the first one. You're almost certainly never cutting even the second one.
And this is actually going to win some amount of games, right? Like this is the kind of signpost that starts to win games. It's honestly probably a 7. Because 6 is a little bit more like, oh yay, I found a good card to fit in my curve. Whereas like this is the level where I'm like, I hope I open this. Please let me open this. Please let someone pass me this or whatever.
True. Or if somebody does, that means I should be in Rakdos.
Yeah. That exactly. Like you're thinking about switching. This is such an important key piece for sure.
Yeah.
Diley Agents, 5 mana for a 3/4 human soldier. When this creature enters, Earthbend 1, then Earthbend 1. Whenever this creature attacks, each opponent loses X life, where X, and you gain X life, where X is the number of creatures you controlled +1/+1 counters on them. I thought that was a Selesnya. Didn't Selesnya have a little bit more counters on him?
Celestia did, but Golgari is kind of just the earthbending color, so it kind of cares about a similar thing.
A similar thing, yeah.
Yeah.
So the Selesnya one has spells and abilities that put counters on stuff, whereas this is just earthbending, which happens to have counters on stuff, so it's just a similar payoff.
Yeah, Selesnya also bleeds into like the allies as well, so it's like counters go wide, where this is just earthbend in general.
Yeah. I think this is an okay card. This is that nice spot where I start to get very excited that I've picked this up. Makes the cut in every deck. I call this a 6.
Agreed. It's basically this. It's effectively the same mana cost as the card we just saw, so a little bit worse.
I think it's substantially worse than the Cruel.
I think it's more synergistic. I think it's, yes, on its own, I think it is worse, but I think it could have a higher upside in the right deck.
Yes, I agree. I think this is the thing that pays off all of your other synergies, whereas the other one is just brute force.
Exactly.
It's powerful on its own. This is like going to make everything in your deck more powerful. I can see that for sure. Dragonfly Swarm, 3 mana for a star 3 dragon insect, flying in ward 1. When its creature's power and toughness are equal to the number of non-creature, non-land cards in your graveyard? Yeah. Whenever this creature dies, if there's a lesson in your graveyard, draw a card, which won't be hard. I'm going to say that that's basically guaranteed.
It should be, yeah.
Like, if you curve out and they kill it in response, sure. But at most stages in your game, and you should have a lesson. That's
This
the
is
interesting thing about the multicolor set review, is that throughout the entire set review for the individual colors, we never assume you will have it. We just kind of like randomly generate a deck in our head and decide how many you're going to have. But once you're looking at being in this color specifically, you can kind of assume you have the things in that color, right?
Yeah, you can't in the mono green set review assume it, because that you're going to have the things that Golgari cares about, because 3/4 of your decks are not going to be Golgari.
Exactly, yeah. So if you're
here.
looking at a white ally payoff, you have to account for the fact that 3 of the colors don't have allies. So that card is averaged out to be worse than if it was paired exactly with the other ally color. Whereas this, there is no guessing about it. You are just in is it.
Exactly. And most importantly, not really, but interestingly, this is the one other dragon in the set for is it Ranon Shaw?
Yep, Ranon Shaw. So pretty. I have 4 avatar cards to my name right now because Veggie was nice enough to give them to me.
You have 5. You have your Katara promo.
I do have the Katara promo. That's true. Veggie gave me 4 cards, and I have the Katara promo from Essen. Oh, and I have the Sokka promo from MagicCon Atlanta.
Oh, okay, so 6.
I'm killing it. Rating wise, I love these cards. I love it. Is it Spellslinger deck in limited? I have always liked this sort of Crackling Drake-esque type creature, and it's like a dragonfly dragon swarm. How cute is that? It's nothing not to love here. I'm starting to get very excited to play this in my deck. 6.
The Crackling Drake type cards always feel like they overperform. Is it because you have to be, so you're already built around it. So yeah, 6.
They're always so good.
An answer, just because it seems like there's been some discussion in chat on Earthbending. Earthbend 2 and Earthbend 1 and Earthbend 1 are different because, as one person said, you can target 2 different lands. However, you can Earthbend the same land.
Yes,
which
it is.
In that case, it would be the same as Earthbend 2 if you choose to target the same land.
It is just strictly better because you have the choice to split, and the reason you would want to split is because there are cards that say your lands that are creatures tap for twice as much mana. Or
as in the case of Daily Agents, it's it cares about the number of creatures with counters up. So you get 2 of them instead of 1.
Exactly. Earth Kingdom Soldier, 5 mana for a 3/4 with Vigilance. When this creature enters, put a +1/+1 counter on each of up to 2 target creatures you control. Notably, most of the time you have this ability, it says other creatures. So it's very hard to hit both. But because this includes itself, that's not bad. And it's a 4/5 for 5 plus an additional +1/+1 counter. This meets my vanilla test in addition to having Vigilance. So this is seeing some play. We're going to give this a 5.
I think so. The one thing that I find very interesting on this
5.5?
card, just because of the colors, is that it's not an ally.
These people attack Aang.
I understand. That makes sense from a flavor standpoint, but just green-white is very much the ally thing. So I would have thought that the common hybrid cycle that they're doing for that would be an ally. But yeah, the flavor makes sense.
They attack Aang.
Well, they're an ally of somebody.
They do it because Aang. So this is right after he turns into the big water blob. Okay. And so what they want to do is they say, well, let's just teach you. You need to master the Avatar state, and you can go fuck up the Fire Lord right now. We can end this war. How many wounded and death people will you save if you just go fuck him up right now in the Avatar state? And Aang's like, I can't do that. And they're like, cool, we're gonna try to force you to do that. And that's the scene where they do a bunch of stuff to try to get him to turn into the Avatar state, and he doesn't. So then he pretends to kill Katara or suffocate her, and he turns into the Avatar state and fucks all of these people up. It's excellent, and they're all scared for their lives. It's very good, very very good scene.
It's a fairly common trope in this sort of story, right? That you try to go fight your enemy too soon. You see it in Star Wars, and
oh yeah.
You go and confront him, and you're really not ready, and then you have to figure out what you still need to learn.
And they kind of do that anyway, even though these people, they're the allies that attack them, try to get him to do it even sooner, and then they do go fight him earlier and then have to like abort the mission later.
Ah, okay.
Several seasons later. I think this is a 5.5.
Yeah, you're in the right colors. They care about the counters, so which of course. So yeah, I can go to 5.5.
And honestly, it's super easy to cast, and it's a 4/5 on its own with an additional counter and a keyword. Like that feels like it's not getting cut.
True.
Earth King's Lieutenant. This is the guy that attacks him. Oh, wait, maybe not. This actually might be one of the other ones. It looked like him, but he looks like he's actually in like the council. Looks like this is actually the Earth King's council, yeah. 2 mana for a 2/2 with Trample. When this creature enters, put a +1/+1 counter on each other ally you control. Whenever another ally you control enters, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature.
It's a 2 mana 1/1.
What did I say?
2/2.
Listen, all right? Reading is hard. Numbers are difficult. 2 mana 2/2, and it does the thing. There are so many goddamn allies in those colors that if you're in this color pairing, it's a home run. This card is excellent.
For sure. This is exactly what this pair is trying to do. Color pair is trying to do. It helps you go wide and tall at the same time.
Nothing
you're
nothing we don't like here. This is exactly what the colors are doing. There's a ton of allies. There's no, does your deck have enough allies? No, just like 90% of all the creatures in both of these colors are allies. And if you didn't draft any, then you're an idiot.
If you're a Selesnya deck, which is already usually going to be more heavily tilted to creatures, and you're playing, 15, 16 creatures in your deck, you probably have 12 plus allies.
Yeah.
Like it's just such a high percentage of them are allies.
I think it would be really hard to not have like 9 other allies. I think it would be actively hard to not have 10 total allies.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know what you're putting in your deck at that point. Unless you're filling it with unless you're playing the Zookeeper deck.
7
and you're filling it all with beasts.
7.5.
Yeah, you gotta get rid of this if you're the opponent, and even sometimes that's too late.
It's too late
after the other allies are
yeah.
on the board.
The only reason I'm not just giving it a straight up 8 is because you have to have, in order for it to really do its thing, you have to have 3 allies on board already, which is a tall order for like the average game. Even if you have enough allies, it's just not.
You've been trading them off for having them kill
exactly.
Them, so, yeah.
So and then his ability, once he's on the board, to continue to get bigger, I find a little less valuable. I like it as an anthem, especially with earthbending. Oh my god. Oh no, it's just allies. Never mind. But yeah. Still very good. Earth Rumble Wrestlers, 4 mana for a 3/4 with reach. This creature gets +1/+0 and has trample as long as you control land creature or a land has entered the battlefield. 4 mana 4/4.
Sure. It's kind of boring, but all of these hybrid cards haven't been that exciting, so that's fine.
Yeah. I like... Who is the other wrestler that goes and helps them? I know the Boulder does. Who's the other one? Is it Hippo? Because I was going to say, this is not an ally, and I'm wondering, I was thinking maybe it was because, like, the Boulder's not here, so, like, those are the ones that go and help at the end. These are only enemies, but I think the Hippo actually does go and help. But this is Fire Nation Man, and this is the Mole, and those two are just bad guys. Not bad guys, but they're just, like, enemies that you fight. But yeah, I think the Hippo does indeed go and help with the Boulder, so... He was with them in the invasion, yeah. So this should be an ally. The Hippo should be an ally because he does fight in the invasion. I think this is super underwhelming. 4.5. I don't think this is going to make the cut. This is real bad compared to a lot of the 4 drops we're seeing.
Agreed. I'm unimpressed.
It's certainly going to play, like I'm just gonna need cards. It's super flexible and easy to cast, so you're gonna want this card, but it's probably only gonna make the cut in like 20% of my decks.
That sounds about right.
Like the ones that you have it. Earth Village Ruffians. 3 mana for a 3/1 soldier rogue. When this creature dies, Earthbend 2. This seems okay. I like that we're seeing like multicolor commons. But yeah, this is underwhelming. It's understated on its own, but then you get the replacement Earthbend. I think I would really want this Earthbend token. I'd actively want to pay extra mana for Earthbending stuff. I still think it's fine.
It's nice as a black card for a sacrifice type deck as well.
Yeah.
You're getting something out of it.
I think this is like a 4.5. I think it's similar to the other hippos, the Earth Rumble Wrestlers, as far as like power on its own. I think it'll see play a little bit more because it synergizes better. I think the upside on this card in the context of the deck has a much higher ceiling. So maybe it's a 5.
Higher. Yeah, I think I'm at 5 almost entirely just because it's a 3-drop instead of a 4-drop, and that starts to be where my standards get a lot higher, is at 4 mana.
Yeah, that changes set to set. Sometimes 3s, sometimes 4s, sometimes 5s. But you're right. I think the 4s seem awfully chunky here, and finding quality 3s doesn't seem to be as overwhelming.
So yeah, still not a huge difference, but I've got it at like a 5.
Firelord Azula, 4 mana for a 4/4 Firebending 2, and whenever you cast a spell while Firelord Azula is attacking, copy that spell. You may choose new targets. So it'll double all your removals, all of your instant lessons, life gain, life draw. God damn it. I'm really tired today. Today is a rough one, man. I'm so sorry for those of you who are watching. I'm not having my best day today. Life draw. Okay. I played this on our Decked Out Commander show, and I will be playing this again on the Nitpicking Nerds show in a few weeks. So she's sweet. I like doubling my removal spells. She doesn't do anything on her own.
No, just the firebend, so.
And then she probably gets eaten or traded with, so.
Yeah, you definitely need the right support, but you're in the right colors for that in Grixis. Yeah.
I'm going to say this is a 7.
I think so. It's just the stats are fine.
I think she's worth splashing.
Right, yeah, I think the colors are worth something to do or the colors are the right color pair to have something to do with the firebending mana.
Yeah. More of a constructed card.
And also it does just say that spell is not non-creature, so if you have flash things, you can just get a copy of a second token copy of a creature.
Yep.
Flash creature.
It works with a Tolly, which is pretty great. In Constructed.
Yep.
I got to do that in the Commander show. It was cool.
But now I'm just excited for what's the next set after this? It's Lorwyn?
That sounds right.
I'm excited for Life Draw. That should be a fun mechanic.
Listen, all right.
Whenever you gain Life Draw card. Nothing broken there.
I've been filming podcasts all morning and in meetings with editors all morning. I'm a little frazzled, okay?
I mean, Lorwyn's the hybrid mana. That's going to be the blue-white hybrid mechanic.
I'm going to sleep in tomorrow. We'll veggie early accesses, and then I'll be back to fighting shape in the afternoon. I think this card's a 7.
Agreed.
All right. Firelord Zuko. We have Mardu mana for a 2/4 ally. Firebending X, where X is Zuko's power. Whenever you cast a spell from exile, and whenever a permanent you control enters from exile, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. This feels... So this is interesting. This is incentivizing you to airbend your own cards.
Yeah.
And disincentivizing your opponents from airbending your cards.
And I guess the opponent part is nice, but it's 2 of the 3 colors don't have airbending in it.
Yes.
There's like no
it's just white.
Or black.
It's just white, yeah.
It seems very out of place.
Yeah, it feels more of like a commander build around for sure. But I still
Sure.
don't hate it. I would have to be very heavy. You're like, what are we at? What are we doing here? If we're Boros, we're not in the business of airbending our own shit. If we're Orzhov, that's more well, Rakdos was sacrifice, right?
Yeah.
What was Orzhov specifically? Also like sacrifice allies.
It's like Orzhov, I think, is more just like death triggers.
I think Orzhov didn't really have much of an identity. We just kind of assumed it was sacrificing because it makes allies and has sacrifice stuff.
Yeah, I think actually, as we look at some of the multicolor stuff we go by, Orzhov is more of the sacrifice. I mean, Rakdos has a lot of raid.
That's true.
But it does have a lot of the black stuff, obviously, that fits into the Rakdos stack. Also, is sacrifice themed.
So I could see Orzhov sacrificey things, ETBs when they sack something when you ETB. I could see wanting to airbend a lot of that. So maybe Orzhov is splashing this, but Boros isn't.
Possibly.
And certainly Rakdos isn't.
No, for sure.
Yeah, so I think the average deck is not interested in this because you'd have to be very air-bendy Orzhov, and that's not the average deck either. So my instinct is this is not great. I'm going to say this is a 3.
I agree. Like the stats are fine for 3 mana, but it's hard to play this on turn 3. This is more of a turn 5 play anyway. So it's not even really justifying itself on stats alone.
Now, I could see a world where I was going to say the fire bending alone, there's decks that are going to want that, but not a deck that's willing to splash for it when you could just get that elsewhere. So yeah, I'm going to say this is a 3.
I think so too.
There's a deck for it, but it is a build around.
And it's not even one of those, like, there's a deck for it because there's like a designed deck for it. Like, there's a deck you're going to happen to create somehow that'll work for this.
Yeah.
Which makes it even less common.
Agreed. All right, moving on. Foggy Swamp Spirit Keeper. 3 mana for a 2/3 ally with lifelink. Whenever you draw your second card each turn, create a 1/1 spirit that cannot block or be blocked by non-spirits. Fine stats, very reasonable. This is the exact kind of thing we're starting to look for when we fill out the deck. Like, this is exactly what this deck wants, right? It's kind of a signpost. So those spirits are going to be a bitch. I think this can win games. I think this is 7.
I think this card's very good. It's an interesting payoff because, and maybe I'm just reading Dimir wrong, but Dimir just, even though this is very, it's two cards a turn, that drawing 2 cards, that's the theme here. But that always, to me, feels like a controlling archetype. And so having this thing create aggressive creatures is kind of interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's maybe the idea is you're just sitting behind your 2/4s and your other things and just letting these things get through. And, you're not spending anything to get them because they're just incidental value.
Yeah.
Okay, I could see that, but it's I just think it's an interesting mechanic. It's a very good card. Like, as long as you can trigger this, once or twice, you're pretty happy.
Yeah.
And the stats on their own are okay. I like it as a 7 too. 7 as well.
Guru Patik. 4 mana for a 2/4 ally. When it enters, look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may reveal a lesson, saga, shrine from among them and put them into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom in a random order. Whenever you cast a lesson, saga, or shrine, put a +1/+1 counter on another creature you control. I think this is very reasonable. The fact that it includes lesson, saga, and shrine, a lot rarer and or maybe not even worth running for shrines. But I think lessons, especially in Simic, worth playing. Even if this is just double blue, I'm still playing this. Double green, maybe I'm not playing this. But double blue, I am.
I guess the mana cost, because my initial thought was to compare it to Aang at the Crossroads, because you're looking at top 5, you're only hitting certain things, but the mana cost of this is so much easier.
Yeah.
Even though I think your hit rate is going to be lower.
I think that's true. But we were evaluating that on whether it was like a 7, 8, or a 9.
Agreed.
I'm evaluating this on whether it's like a 5 or a 6.
Oh,
so
that's fair, yeah.
Yeah, I'm happy with it in what I think a uncommon should be. I was not happy with the other
Sure.
thing on what I think
Yeah,
a rare that is 3 mana, 3 colors should cost.
Yeah. No, I think that's fair. I think this card is fine. You will have enough lessons to occasionally hit. Sagas were mostly rares or mythics, but there were a couple, and the
Yep.
shrines, as we discussed, are not very good. So
Certainly not. I think the blue one is the only one that was worth running. Typically, if I have the blue one, I would run both green and blue if I had it. If I'm
the
like,
white one is the good one.
no, I know, but I'm talking about the colors of this card.
Oh, just for this card, sure.
Yeah. Like what are our scenarios here?
Yeah.
And again, I think I'm running this, like, I didn't care about the blue or the green sagas, so I think I'm running this at double blue if we're like Azorius or if we are Dimir. But I don't think I'm running this if I'm, and obviously we'll run it in Simic, but I don't think I'm running this if I'm green X that's not blue. Because the green ones were bad. The green lessons.
The lessons.
Yeah. And I don't think
Probably
any
not.
of the other colors outside of blue had enough good lessons to justify it on their own.
No, I think that's right.
5 on the average deck.
Sure.
It'll play like a 4. It'll play like a 6. Probably a 5.
Yeah, it's like a 6 in Simic, but Simic's never good, so it goes down to a 5.
Yeah. I think it might even be like a 6 in a Azorius.
Sure.
Like, white is the other real good lesson ones, I think.
Yep, and has the best shrine.
Like, there was so many like good removal and combat trick lessons, and has the best shrine. Exactly. Yeah, I think it's pretty solid there. Hama Bloodbender. 2 and hybrid. So it's not too hard to cast for a human warlock. 3/3. When it enters, a target opponent mills 3 cards. Exile up to 1 non-creature, non-land card from that player's graveyard. For as long as you control Hama, you may cast the exiled card during your turn by waterbending X rather than paying its mana cost. This is fine. I like this card.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Yeah, I mean, you can. I have to remind myself every time I see like waterbending X means I can still just pay X.
Yes.
Like, it's not only using your artifacts and creatures. You can still just pay 4 mana or whatever.
The other cool thing too is this is a little mana intensive, but you're like, oh, what if they bolt it before you get to untap? Well, Waterbending X also just means you could ensure you get to play it by tapping everything you have that's not mana. You play this on turn 5 and you tap your 3 creatures to guarantee to lock up their 3-drop, and you can just do that.
Including this one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if you have more clues or treasures or food or a couple of ally tokens or whatever the case may be, you could just play this. And I think that's the nice. I'm glad that it's waterbending and not pay the mana, because there's a reasonable chance that Hama does not live to your untap step.
Agreed. I mean, yeah, the waterbending is just better than if it was only its mana.
Yeah, for sure. So I think this card's quite good. This is the part where I start to get very excited that I'm getting to play these cards. 6.5.
Yeah, I think the fact that it's exiling, like the card you exile doesn't have to be from the milled cards. Like, it's not one of those cards. It's just anything from their graveyard.
Yep.
Helps. So I like it at 6/5 as well.
I mean, you could play this and get their 2-drop. You could play this and get their, Atali. So the power of it's going to very much depend upon whether or not, A, you get to cast the thing, and B, how good is the thing you get to cast. So it's got a nice range as far as like playability and what you're going to get. But I think it's always going to be solid. It's most likely going to give you 2 cards. I would just take their 2 or 3-drop a good chunk of the time if I think it's reasonable that my opponent might kill her. Don't take their best card. And the other option too is you could get their best card out of their graveyard. Even if they kill Hama, at least they can't get it back.
In case they have some way.
Yeah. And so like game 2 and 3, that might be a very viable option if they have any of the recursion stuff, which there is some.
Sure.
All right. Hey, bye. Spirit of Balance. 4 mana for a 3/3. Whenever Heibai enters or attacks, you may sacrifice another creature or artifact. If you do, put a +1/+1 counter on Heibai. When it leaves the battlefield, put the counters on target creature you control.
Sorry, I just realized something with the last card. It's non-creature.
What?
Non-creature, non-land.
Ugh, that's worse.
That card is way worse than we thought.
I mean, you still get their removal spell, their draw cards, their whatever. I think that's still fine. But yeah,
it's just
they're
a lot less it's a lot less flexible.
and it's a
for
lot
what
less
you can
likely you'll
choose.
have a target on 5 and 6.
Yep.
So maybe I'll give it a 6 then. I still think it's good.
I think it's good too, but it does drop it.
Yeah. The ceiling is a bit lower, but I think it's still about the same. Fetish Panda.
Excuse me?
There's a panda from Foundations, and I always misread the name as Fetish Panda. It's just a panda, so it's just I now call them all Fetish Pandas.
I was thinking the South Park sexual harassment panda.
I don't know what that is.
It's like you know how like you have like Smokey the Bear or it's like Forest Fires. It's a bear mascot that goes to schools to teach about sexual harassment.
I see. This card is fine. It's nothing special. You really only need, well, you have to, this is kind of a build around, but this is exactly what Orzhov wants to be doing, so we're never cutting this, and it's hard to say. I don't know how strong this archetype's going to be. This does not feel as strong as some of the other uncommons that are doing the same role for their colors. So 6.5, I feel like based on what we know of Orzhov, this is exactly what you want to be doing.
Yeah, as long as you have something that's either you don't care about or can generate some value on death, like you're getting a 4-mana 5/5, then that can keep growing, and at least some of that power stays when it dies, or actually leaves the battlefield. So even if it gets airbent or whatever, you still keep the counters.
And that's assuming you're not getting other death triggers and things, which is
yes,
excellent. So I think this is exactly what we want to be doing in these colors. 6.5.
Sure.
Next up, we have the Hermitic. Is that how you say that?
Hermitic Herbalist.
Hermitic.
Yeah. It's weird that it's not alliterative. It's Hermitic Herbalist.
My brain does not want to make this word.
It's like hermit crab. Hermit.
I know it.
Hermitic.
I know, but I can't say hermit. I know how to say hermit crab, but hermitic is not a word I'm used to saying in my brain.
Sure, that's fair.
My brain is doesn't like it. The Herbalist is a 2-mana 2/3. It's an ally. You could tap it, add a mana of any color. You can also tap it, add 2 mana of any combination of colors, but you can only spend it to cast lessons. She does not teach us a lesson. She teaches us what kind of food Miyuki, thank you. HG with the save. I was like, Yumi? I was close, but it is Miyuki. That's right. Yeah. We go through a 20-minute lesson on how we make Miyuki's dinner.
Ah, a 20-minute lesson.
Yeah. So that's why she gives us 2 mana to learn about how we can grind up Miyuki's dinner. I think this is a great creature. Well above rate. Is that the lady that tells them to suck on frozen frogs? Yes! Yes, it is, target player. I'm so proud of you. I am so proud, target player. I appreciate you. This card's excellent. It's well above rate. I'm super excited to have this in my deck.
Yeah, usually, your mana dorks you get punished on the stats because they're ripping you. Certainly not the case here.
The Simic ones tend to not. Sometimes they even fucking fly and stuff. Simic, specifically Simic mana dorks tend to be pretty OP, and then that's to make up for the fact that the rest of this color pairing's garbage.
That's true. But see, the problem with the 2-mana Simic mana dork here is it's trying to accelerate you to 4, but the best Simic cards are always exactly 1 green blue.
Yeah. But that's only for lessons. Yeah, you're right. It's still 4.
Well, no, I mean, even for regular, you go to 4, yeah. Lessons, you get to go to 5.
Yeah.
See, I could play this and with 3 lands hold up my 5-mana counterspell lesson.
This is a very good 6. I'm very, very happy to run this. The reason it's not higher, it's like, it's all the things I want. Like, I want it like a 7, but it is low impact. It is just a mana
It
dork.
is.
But it's such an important cornerstone of the deck that you might just take this over like a slightly stronger 5-drop.
For sure.
Iroh Grand Lotus, 6 mana for a 5/5 with Firebending 2. During your turn, each non-lesson instant and sorcery card has flashback. The flashback cost is equal to the mana's cost. During your turn, specifically, each lesson card in your graveyard has flashback 1. Each non-lesson instant. That's right.
So,
This is what
Okay,
Veggie
so
played in the decked out episode.
so your non-legend spells just have flashback, and your lesson spells have flashback but only cost 1.
You said non-legend spells. Your non-lesson instants and
non-lesson,
sorceries.
lesson. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Veggie paired it with a thing that made lessons cost only 1. So he was able to play all of his lessons for free. It was pretty cool.
Well, for free. It doesn't make them cost 1 less. It just cost 1.
I know. And he paired it with another card that made all of his lessons cost 1 less.
Oh, I thought you said it made them all cost 1. I got it. I misheard you.
It does. This one says during your turn, lesson cards in your graveyard cost 1.
I thought you said the other card did that.
No, the other card made them cost 1 less.
Yeah.
So then they cost 0. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So he just like ripped 15 lessons out of his bin and just like played them all. It was pretty cool. But either way, I don't think this is going to be worth it I think this is going to be worth it in any of the color pairings, honestly. Maybe
not Gruul.
Gruul. Exactly. Yeah, Gruul is not splashing this, but I think Simic and I think Izzet are both happy to splash this. And you're getting a 5/5 with Firebending, which seems worth it on its own. And even if you only get to play 1 or 2 lessons out of your graveyard, I think it's worth it.
Even Gruul might, just because if you're in Gruul, there's a chance you have access to some free fixing anyway. And you'll still have some red burn spells that just giving them flashback is nice.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. I was only thinking about the lesson side of things. But you're right. You might just flash back a shock or lightning strike and be
lightning
happy.
Strike, yeah.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Actually, I think that's better. I was only attacking this from the lesson angle, which is where you really get to capitalize on it.
For sure.
But a lightning strike is just fine. So I think this is splashable. This is one of the 3 color cards I think that have a high enough impact where I'm happy with it.
Definitely.
And in and of itself is a good body to boot and gives you some more mana and does everything. So yeah, I like this card. I think this card is I think this wins games.
Yeah. Yeah, I won't. I guess it does have the thing that you can kill it right away. It does. You don't get any value if you didn't have enough mana up to cast something. But as long as you don't do that, you're getting something out of it probably.
Yeah, something. But it takes a special deck to get a lot of value. You might not have anything in the bin yet. You might not have anything great in the bin. So I think it's just like an 8 because there's a lot of ifs for this thing to really pop off. And eights win games in the right circumstance. And I think that's what this is.
I was only trying to see if I could come up with a way to make it an 8.5. Nothing much higher than that.
Yeah. And I think it will be just a 10, like some percentage of the time. And then sometimes it's just a weirdly costed 5/5.
Yep.
Iroh Tea Master, 3 mana for a 2/2. When it enters, create a food. At the beginning of combat on your turn, you may have target opponent gain control of target permanent you control. When you do, create a 1/1 ally creature token, put a +1/+1 counter on that token for each permanent you own that you don't control. End game, you could just start giving them your lands.
Yep, or you're just giving them. Yeah, I guess you can give them a food. The food it makes the first time.
Yeah.
Yeah, Boros, you're typically running a lower top end to your mana curve anyway.
Yeah. Also, you're making a ton of ally tokens, is it worth it to give them 1/1 allies to poop out an ally that is a 4/4, a 5/5, a 6/6?
Oh, sure.
So like, there's a world where we just give them all of our shitty ally tokens and just make and just upgrade them to better ally tokens. I think that is a reasonable enough case to where I think this is very solid. And even if we don't, it's still kind of 2/2/2s across 3 bodies. You give them the food, you make a 1/1, you get 1 counter because they have 1 thing, right?
Yep.
So
Yeah.
that's still not bad. 2/2/2s for 3 mana in Boros seems pretty good.
Agreed. I think it's fine. It definitely has a high ceiling, but the floor is not that bad either.
Yeah. So then I give them an ally. I get a 3/3 ally. I give them an ally. I make a 4/4 ally. Yeah, that seems solid without that much work. So this feels like exactly what I want to be doing in Boros. I'm going to call that a 7.
7 seems fine. It's not higher just because it's easy to kill. Like you could just get shocked and then you've made a food, which is fine. You're still up on the exchange, but it can be low impact.
Yeah, and you're right. It just dies. It also takes a lot of work for it to do the thing. The other important thing is it's in the ally colors and it's an ally, so that's just nice. So.
And making more of them to trigger more things.
Jet Freedom Fighter, 5 mana for a 3/1 ally. Wait a minute, he's not an ally. He's not an ally until the very end. And even then...
His flavor text sounds very ally.
One day we'll drive the Fire Nation out of here for good. He says that right before he floods a civilian village.
I mean, did he get the Fire Nation out of there for good?
Yeah, because the Fire Nation invaded and they're controlling the village. So it has civilian earthbender, like civilian Earth Kingdom people, and he floods it to get rid of the Fire Nation troops. And so everybody's like, you're going to kill all the civilians. And then he says it's worth it.
Yeah.
He's not an ally. Certainly not during this scene that he's playing.
He's a rebel. He's a rebel.
He's a rebel ally.
He's an ally that marches to the beat of his own drum.
He should be a rebel idiot.
I don't think that's a supported creature type.
When Jet enters, he deals damage equal to the number of creatures you control to your own creatures. That's what it should read. To target creature an opponent controls. When Jet dies, put a +1/+1 counter on each of up to 2 target creatures.
So 5 mana to, I don't know what, you're hoping to like bolt something probably?
Number of creatures you control for 5 mana. Yeah, so this is I think in Boros, we could say the floor is kind of a bolt here for 5 mana. If you don't have 2 other creatures, then I don't know what you're doing with your life. When he dies...
Yeah, I mean, you could easily have traded off or... But yeah, bolt is likely.
Yeah, you could have, but I feel like that's the low end of average. Like, you could also have 5 creatures.
Sure, yeah. A bolt is likely.
So, and then you get 2 +1/+1 counters when he dies, so you get to make up a little bit there. I think this is fine. It feels... In an aggressive deck, like if you go 2, 3, 4, and then you play this on 5, kill their blocker, get in, that feels pretty good. And then they're gonna you're on the aggressive foot, so then they're gonna have to kill this, and then you're still aggressive. I actually think this is very good. I think this is a nice top end for a Boros deck, which also has a correct stat line or incorrect stat line. Incorrect. You know what I mean? It incorrectly has the correct stat line. Or creature type.
What? Creature
type.
Creature type, okay.
It incorrectly has the correct creature type.
I was like, what's wrong with the 3/1?
Yeah, there's a lot wrong with a 3/1 for 5 mana, but...
Well, that's true.
So I actually think that this is a very, very, very good topper for Boros. I think this is exactly the kind of card I want to be looking for in the decks that I intend to build that Yanks will never touch. I think this is actually like a 7. I'm very happy to have this. I'm actively looking for this, I think. Which was not my first instinct, but now that I've mulled it over a minute, I like it.
I'm putting this at a 6, and I'm stretching in my mind to give it a 6. I don't like this card at all.
Yeah, this to me is the game ender.
Maybe I just don't. It's partly because I don't like the fact that, unlike pretty much all of the other hybrid cards, like this is a 1-deck card.
Yes.
Like it is, all the other hybrid ones you could most likely play at least in some other combination, but it is unlikely I'm ever touching this outside of Boros. Maybe there's some really go wide Selesnya deck.
I think you're very right.
Triple white.
The other hybrids were kind of like, we were looking at Guru Patik. Like we would play that in either color. Like, you know what I mean? You're 100% right. In my mind, this is just a Boros card, and I'm kind of treating it like the other 2-color cards, where it's like, this is only in this deck. We're never splashing this, and that's it. And maybe thinking about the average deck, you're right. They're just not going to be able to run this. I'm thinking about the average Boros deck, and I think this is going to be a hot commodity.
Yeah, I think I don't know.
You're never playing it.
No, not even that. It's just like the damage, and they're always, these cards are playable. The cards that just have the first part attacks, the damage equal number of creatures you control. But when they're this expensive and at sorcery speed, it always makes me worry that, like, I'm not going to kill what I want to kill because they'll, shock a creature in response, and now it doesn't do enough damage or things like that.
Yeah, I'm not too worried about it. I just I really can envision going like 2, 3, 4. This on 5 is going to be game breaking. Anytime you can kill a creature and progress the board on one card in a Boros deck is going to be big game. So I'm a big fan.
I agree. There are definitely scenarios where this is a great top end, but I don't know. Just something about the card feels underwhelming to me.
We're pretty close anyway. It makes sense that, I mean, it's like combat tricks, right? Like, I'm playing creatures, you aren't. So, Katara the Fearless, 3/3 for 3. If a triggered ability of an ally you control triggers, it triggers an additional time.
It was a very triggering card.
Yes.
I mean, it's in exactly the right colors. Bant is where all the allies are.
Mm-hmm. This seems splashable. I think this is worth splashing.
Yeah, probably least in Azorius, just because it's harder to splash.
Yeah.
You're not base green, but
I think there's enough allies between those two colors that, because blue was still pretty ally heavy too, so I think it would be worth it if you can find the fixing.
It's interesting. It's probably hardest to splash in Azorius, but probably has the lowest impact in Simic.
Really?
You take out. Well, you take out
in
white.
Simic.
Simic, yeah.
I thought you said we went from Azorius. I thought you were then going to Selesnya, which also is mountains of allies.
Yeah, no, white. I mean, because white, almost everything was an ally, and then green and blue had the next most.
Yeah.
So
green felt like almost everything was an ally too.
Yeah. Green had the handful, like the sub beast theme that removed a few of them.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Rating wise, I think this card's very, very good. I think it's going to trigger a lot. I think it's worth splashing, which has not been the case for some of the 3-mana creatures that we've seen before. So I'm going to call this an 8. I think this is going to win the game.
Come just a little lower, just 7.5, just because you could just kill other things and ignore this, and it's fine.
Yeah, so that's kind of my difference between 8. It tends to be cards that can win the game if left alone. That's kind of the caveat there, and I kind of pair that with my premium removal.
Yeah.
They're minimally impactful if they're dealt with, or if they don't get to do the thing, if they're stopped for whatever reason, but they have that really high ceiling to end games. To me, that's my 8s.
Yeah, I agree with that, but to me, this doesn't quite fit that, because you could, if there are other allies, you could just ignore this card. To me, the 8s are ones that just by themselves you can't ignore.
I agree with that. I just think that the entire deck is going to be allies. I think that the allies, there's so many. I think it is the most supported, easy thing to just accidentally have without even trying to draft well. If you are just drafting creatures in these colors, you're going to have 12 allies.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah, I said I'm not much different. I'm just like just under that 8 range at like 7-5.
Yeah. I think the biggest difference is that I agree with you with what you said. My assumption is that she does have that built in with the amount of allies that there are. Katara, Water Tribe's Hope, 5 mana for a 3/3 with Vigilance. When Katara enters, create a 1/1 ally. Creature token, Waterbend X. Creatures you control have base power and toughness XX until end of turn, where X is, it can't be 0. Cool. Activate only during your turn. This card also seems excellent. Makes 2 bodies, Vigilant, allies, anthems all your dudes huge. This also can win games. This is a really big payoff.
It's kind of funny that it almost has its biggest. It could have its biggest impact in like an earthbending deck, if you could play the colors, because everything all those cards have counters on them. So if you make them a base 3/3, it's even a bigger deal.
Yeah, she's even helping you waterbend bigger in the next turn by making the extra token.
Yes.
So I think this card is also very game winning. I think this is another 8 for me.
I think so too, especially because you can like the turn you cast this. Like if you're assuming you're dealing with allies and a lot of things are 1/1s base, like just with this and its token, you could that turn them all into 2/2s.
Yeah.
And if you have anything else lying around, then even better.
A spare treasure or clue or food. I haven't seen any treasures.
Or just an extra land. Like you play it on 6 instead of 5.
Yep.
So the fact that this can do that pretty much on its own the turn it comes out.
Agreed. The lion turtle. We've seen this this mana cost before. This is the next ban.
This is danger. Danger, Will Robinson.
3 mana Elder Cat Turtle for a 3/6 Vigilance and Reach. When it enters, you gain 3 life. The Lion Turtle can't attack or block unless there are 3 or more lesson cards in your graveyard, and it adds a mana of any color. Can't attack or block. It's interesting.
Yeah.
It's got great stats, and it's a mana dork, so I still like it.
You're in the color pair that should have a lot of lessons.
Yep. Specifically, so I think it won't be long until it can, and it's got extra stats. It's going to give you that mana, and I don't mind ramping on 3, especially when that ramp eventually turns into a 3/6. I don't think it's anything special, but I think it's a 6.
I think so. The fact that the mana means it's not a dead card early, and then the stats mean it's not a dead card late, so that's a good combination.
I will say I'm really sad that this doesn't have an activated ability to give a bending. It's mostly explained in Korra, so it makes sense. But in the main series, he does give Aang the ability to remove someone's bending. But in Korra, the lion turtles are the keepers of the bending and are what originally give it to humans.
Oh, okay.
So flavor-wise, this should be like pay 2, give firebending to something. Pay 4, give airbending.
They were the keepers of all the bendings?
So there was 4 different lion turtles, and each one had a different bending.
Got it.
And so what they would do is they would give the bending to people, and then the people would have to give, the lion turtle would take it back. And the lion turtle gave them the bending so that they could protect themselves against the spirits, because the humans were, very weak, and the spirits were stronger in the wilderness. And so the humans would go out to forage or hunt or whatever, and yes, this one does give Aang energy bending.
What is energy bending?
It's the ability to take away the Fire Lord's bending. Spoiler alert, if you haven't watched it in the last 25 years, I'm sorry. But yeah, that's how Aang ends up dealing with the Fire Lord, as he takes the fire bending away from him. So he's no longer a threat. I don't think, HD, that he can give it. He could probably Like, I don't think he could take someone who's not a bender and give him bending. I don't know that is ever a thing that we've seen in the universe. Yes, the lion turtles can, but he doesn't. He gives Aang energy bending, which allows him to remove it, but I don't think he can give it. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. We agree this is a 6.
Can the lion turtle give non-benders bending, or can it just give benders other bendings?
All humans are non-benders at this time, and the lion turtles give them bending.
Yeah. Okay.
Longfang, Grand Secretariat.
Yep.
Yeah. I was like, why is it a horse? And then
yes,
my brain stumbled on it. I'm like, it can't say secretariat. That's a horse.
That is a horse. My dad would be very proud of you for knowing that.
Really?
He saw the final Triple Crown race for
Wow.
Secretariat. He always has them on, like, he used to have a long running email conversation with thread with people from college arguing over the top 5 athletes of all time, and he always tried to argue Secretariat belonged on the list.
Yeah, they say that like Secretariat was like the Michael Phelps of horses. Like he had like an extra heart.
Yep.
Like we don't know any of that for sure, but like they think that something was weird, like that he had an extra heart or like a triple X size lung capacity, or I don't know. But he was some sort of
one that's
Michael Phelps.
Still holds the record at the Belmont stakes.
He was
by
some
like
sort of
22
mutant.
and a half legs or something crazy.
Yeah. Anyway, 3 mana, 2/3. Human Advisor. Whenever another creature you control or land you control is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control.
So anytime your earthbend creatures die.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
Any creature,
but yeah. Or land. I guess it has to be or land, because I guess by the time it goes to the graveyard, I don't know if it's considered a land at that point. Either way, it doesn't matter. It works for both. So
yeah. I like this sort of ability. It seems very well rounded. Seems like exactly what I want to be doing. 6.
Sure.
Messenger Hawk. Hockey. 3 mana for a 1/2 bird scout with flying. When this creature enters, create a clue token. This creature gets +2/+0 as long as you've drawn 2 or more cards. This is a really nice payoff. Gives you that clue, gives you the extra card draw. I like the idea. It's a little weak on its own, but the fact that that clue is going to trigger other cards and you want more of them, it's going to trigger your water bending. I think this is very playable. I would say that this is 5.5.
I shouldn't be surprised by this, but I'm glad that design, chose to use clues. It's such a elegant way to work with both waterbending and the 2-card a turn mechanic.
Agreed.
I think that's especially with the fact that you don't have to tap clues to sacrifice, so you could use it for both in the same turn. I just think that's really, really well done. But yeah, I like this card. Around the same thing. It's a little bit underpowered, but it does a lot of little things that these colors will. I mean, even Orzhov has the clue to sacrifice even.
Agreed. Ozai the Phoenix King. 7/7 for 6. Human Noble. Trample, Firebending 4, and Haste. If you would lose unspent mana, that mana becomes red instead. Ozai has flying and indestructible as long as you have 6 or more unspent mana. So is that forever? Because it doesn't say until end of turn.
Yeah.
So you could just have it forever.
I believe until Ozai dies, you will keep that mana.
7/7 haste with trample and firebending 4 for 6. That's a really good rate. And I don't really care about the unspent mana thing. Yes, it's going to be really nice. Yes, it'll make your other firebending mana sinks real good. But you might not have them at the same time. They might kill Ozai instead. The thing you are guaranteed to do is kind of hit them with a 7/7 trample haster and get whatever the spell is that's in your hand at this moment, if you have one. Or creature, right? Because after combat, you don't lose that mana. You could then replay a creature. So I feel like those are the cornerstones of this card. And the mana manipulation stuff is cool and will become handy sometimes, but that's sort of an edge case. And if you're not playing a creature, I don't really care. So it feels more constructed-y. I think this card's excellent and can certainly win games. 8?
Barring instant speed removal, you're getting, and assuming you have cards in your hand, you're getting a 7/7 plus a 4-drop.
Yeah.
And
even if you don't, it's still a 6 mana 7/7 trample haster, and we call that big game. Right?
Yeah, and if you somehow, if you're playing this on turn, say 8, you just can make him indestructible right away. And it's not something they can, I guess the firebending, they can respond to that mana being created, but they can't respond to your, you adding mana to your mana pool.
I'm not gonna lie. I forgot about that indestructible part. You said it and I was like, huh, you're right. If you attack with, it says 6 or more unspent mana, it's actually, okay, this is actually a 10. All you need is firebending 2. Right? And then you just don't spend that mana. That's actually not a hard thing to do.
No, it's not.
So I think it's very actually reasonable that this is just a trampling, flying, hasting, indestructible, trampling 7/7 for not that much work. That feels like a 10. Yes, they could instant speed remove it, but exactly. I feel like you could. But you can play around that to some extent. You can wait until they play it, like tap out. Not always, but enough of the time.
Yeah, I think just for that, I'm making it a 9.5, just because it feels like almost all of our 10s always guarantee you to leave with something.
Yeah.
To some degree, whether it be like, Planeswalkers, that you always get one activation, or, you always get something. Where there will be times you don't. Even if it's indestructible, right? Like they can exile it.
That's true.
And you get nothing.
This is no Dream Trawler.
Exactly.
But I think
maybe that's an unfair standard.
I think it's close. Exactly. I think my standard for a 10 is just, there are 10s and then there are like the 12s. And this still feels like a 10. But you're right. It is a low 10 on our scale of 10s. Yeah. Certainly.
We never have 9.5s. I want to put something at 9.5.
We usually have like one per set, I think.
True. It's not a lot. So
I think we've had one this set, haven't we?
I know we had 2 10s. I don't remember if we had a 9/5.
I think I had a 9/5. But either way, Platypus Bear, 2 mana, 2/3 with Defender. When this creature enters, mill 2 cards. As long as there is a lesson card in your graveyard, this creature can attack as though it didn't have Defender. That's going to be super easy to do in these colors. This is a very well-rounded card that Simic can, like a decently statted Simic card. This is a 5.
So you know that this is an easy condition to meet because these cards are always 3/3s. Like we always get that 2 mana Defender 3/3 where if something happens, it can attack.
And that something is usually hard, right?
Is usually harder. So feeling that because the fact this is a 2/3 kind of, I think, tells us that this is not going to be hard to.
Yeah.
To
and
happen.
Those things are usually like, if you've cast instant or sorcery this turn, you have to re-trigger them. This is a one-time trigger, and it's like pretty much good forever. I think that's another reason why it's statted weaker, is because you don't have to meet the requirement multiple times.
Agree.
Perplexing Pox Bearers. They don't have the pox. They had little tiny octopuses stuck to them. 2 mana for a 2/1. When this creature dies, create a 1/1 ally creature token. A Pentapus. Yeah. Have you guys seen the Dragon Prince? It is from the writers that did Avatar, some of them, and the main voice of the main character is Sokka. And in it, they reference a bunch of things. One of them is like he references his boomerang, and another one they actually say Pentapus. It's a type of creature in the world. Anyway, sorry. It's very good. This is exactly what Orzhov wants. 5.
Yep. 5. Low impact, but it's going to do what you want it to do, and it finds a home in Selesnya too for allies. So it's got a little bit of flexibility there.
Professor Zay, Anthropologist, 2 mana for an 0/3. Tap, discard a card, draw a card. 1 and a tap, sacrifice him, return target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard to your hand, activate only during your turn. He's an ally. I think that's fine. He does die in the pursuit of knowledge. However, he doesn't die to help you get an instant or sorcery. So a flavor fail, I feel like this is a flavor fail. This reads more like he sacrificed himself so that way you'd have more time to learn about the Day of Black Sun, and that's just not the case. He's just a weird bookworm and was going to sit in the corner and die anyway. He didn't really do anything for you. So here we are. All in all, I think this card's fine. Draw and discard an 0/4. He's an ally. Nothing special. I like him in the sideboard against like more aggressive decks too. He's found again in Korra. You see his skeleton, yeah. You see him like sitting in the corner. And I think Wan Shitong references him. The last human to be here like died or whatever.
This card definitely fits in more blue decks than red decks. I mean, obviously it fits and isn't, but it's nice for to draw 2 cards a turn mechanic, and Dimir, it helps get like lessons into the graveyard for Simic.
Mm-hmm. But I would rather cast those lessons. But yeah.
Agreed. But if you're trying to, if you have 2 and you're just trying to get to 3, either it helps you draw them to cast or get them into the graveyard.
I think this is a 4.5. I don't think I'm going to cast this. I don't think I'm going to play this a ton. It's going to make the cut in some decks, but on average, I don't think so.
Yeah, it feels replaceable.
Sandbender Scavengers. 2 mana for a 1/1. Whenever you sacrifice another permanent, put a counter on this creature. Whenever this creature dies, you may exile it. When you do, return target creature card with mana value less than or equal to this creature's power from the graveyard to the battlefield. That feels pretty good.
For some reason, the art on this card, even though it's not anything like it, I can't stop seeing like dune worms in this art.
You're not alone. And they're in Avatar, in Korra, there are like dune worms.
Okay.
In the desert. So they do exist here.
Yeah. But no, again, this is Orzhov, exactly Orzhov-y. Sacrificing any permanents is great. You grow this thing, and then getting something back, whether it be something you sacrificed or just something that died or managed to get in the graveyard somehow. It's a pretty solid.
I don't love that you have to sacrifice another permanent to get the +1/+1. It's not just like when a creature dies. So I feel like it's a little bit more build around specific, and it is what Orzhov wants to be doing. But unlike the ally synergy, which just seems to be accidental, I'm not convinced that the sacrifice in Orzhov is accidental. And I think the average Orzhov deck is going to be pretty weak, synergy-wise.
Yeah, some of the Orzhov cards, like not this one notably, need sacrifice stuff, but they double as sac outlets, right? Like Heibai, if I'm pronouncing that right, when it enters or attacks, you can sacrifice something to do.
But that was another uncommon.
Oh, agreed. I like the fact that it was a payoff, but it also enabled its own payoff by sacrificing something. This, you need something else.
Yeah.
To sacrifice something.
And most of the good things, like most of it is either really bad or uncommon or rare. So like the ally deck, I think if you're in those colors, you just have an ally deck. You can't really fuck that up. Whereas I think this deck needs to be above average. You can't just pile together white and black cards and have a solid sacrifice deck. And I don't think a lot of them are going to come together because it feels like those payoffs are going to be harder to find.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think and it's where you're not in the colors that make a lot of clues.
Yep. Or
food. So if you had that, there's some, but if you had that would help.
Yeah, there's some in black because black shares the Dimir double draw. So there's some, but it is much, much rarer. And again, like I think that the good sacrifice outlets are going to be uncommon. If this was death, because you want, like if it was whenever a creature you control dies, because that's what the sacrifice deck is doing, then you get it no matter what, just in combat. So you get that extra bonus. But I think this one's going to be a lot harder. I think this is just a 6. Sure. I think the floor on it's pretty low.
I agree that it needs help.
It's going to be a banger. If your deck is good, this will be good. But I think your deck needs to be better than average for this to be
I think
good.
that's probably right.
Someone said this is very good in a Sephiroth deck. I wholeheartedly agree. We are talking about drafting or sealed specifically. No constructed formats are in this evaluation, so keep that in mind. Sokka Bold Boomeranger, 2 mana for a 1/1. When it enters, discard up to 1 card, then draw that many cards. Whenever you cast an artifact or a lesson spell, put a +1/+1 counter on Sokka. Yeah, I think this is fine. It's not fantastic, but if I'm playing this 100%. There's quite a few good lessons.
Yes.
You don't need a lot of lessons to be happy. You only got to play 2. I like a built-in draw, discard 2, draw 2. That's nice too for filtering and fixing. Or smoothing, I should say. So, I mean, it's nothing special, but I think this is like a 6. Like, if this is never getting cut and I'm happy to have it.
Yeah, I agree with that. It feels, I don't know, is it stuff feels a little bit, I don't know, not super supported.
Agreed. I agree with that.
But it's fine. Like it's fine. The artifact stuff is okay. There's not a lot of colored artifacts like we've had in some recent sets, but there were a few. And then obviously you got your handful of normal artifacts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I almost wish it was like whenever an artifact enters the battlefield, so you could get the benefit from clue tokens.
Yeah, I think that would be too good.
Probably.
You like it at a 6?
Is right. I like a 6. You're certainly playing it in the Izzet deck.
Next up, Uncommon Sokka. 3 mana, 2/3 with Vigilance. Whenever Sokka and at least one other card attacks, draw a card. Yes.
Great. It's an ally. You're going to have lots of allies in the white decks, in the blue decks.
And he attacks well.
He attacks well. In the blue decks, you're going to want to draw a second card a lot of times.
Yeah, this is excellent. This is better than the last Sokka.
Agreed.
I'm pretty happy to get this. This is exactly what I want to be doing. I mean, it's like, it's low-ish impact, but it is that sort of snowbally value that gets you the W, so...
The only thing a little weird about this card is that they didn't find a way to make it fly since it's Azorius. But
Sokka can't fly.
Yeah, I don't know. Figure it out.
So Sokka's water tribe. So
fair.
I like that he can attack and then water bend. That's what I like.
True. That's true. That's nice.
He's got 4 butt, so he attacks well, so it makes it very likely that you're going to get to draw those cards more than once. With any sort of trick or combat removal, something, you're going to definitely get it. But I think it's pretty reasonable to attack with this thing on turn 4, especially on the play, if you are... and get that first draw, and then, the second one might be tougher, but I think this is still good. I'm very, very happy to have this in my deck. I think this is another 6.
Yeah, agreed. It's a good card. Fits in a lot of the different pairs that are good for either white or blue.
Sokka number 3. 1 in a Jeskai for a 3/3 ally, Menace and Prowess. Other allies you control have Menace and Prowess. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, create a 1/1 white creature token ally. Huh.
Yeah, this seems really good.
Holy shit.
Yeah, the only thing that would make it better for an ally deck was if it was Bant instead of Jeskai, but I'll take it.
I mean, I think blue had a lot of allies as well. And red...
It did.
I think red had some of the better ally payoffs. I actually think Boros allies is going to be way better than Selesnya.
It might be. I think Boros it did have a couple good ones, but it only had like 3 or 4 allies in it.
But I think the allies play style is going to lend itself to get more W's in Boros than it will Selesnya.
That could be.
That's kind of where I'm putting that. I think this is fantastic. I think this is exactly what I want to be doing. It's making more allies. It's going wider. It's giving them Menace and Prowess. Holy shit. That was uncalled for. I think this is another very solid 8. It's going to win the game if it doesn't get lightning striked.
Yes. And then hopefully you have a spell to blank their lightning strike and make it a 4/4.
You're in blue. You have the hexy-proofy one.
Or
I
just
think-
any spell, right? Any spell gives it prowess, so.
Yeah, true. I think there's a white one too.
Yeah.
Suki Kiyoshi Warrior, 4 mana for a star 4, power and toughness equal to creatures. Whenever it attacks, create a 1/1 ally that is tapped and attacking. So this is Adeline for an extra mana.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, and it's hybrid mana, so it's
and a relevant creature type.
yes. I think Adeline's like a soldier, right?
Yes.
Yeah, we have Adeline at home, is what this is. At uncommon. Hoping for another dance lesson. I love it. Sugi's fantastic. I think this card is pretty good. Adeline is real nice.
Yeah, there's a big difference between 3 and 4 mana, but for limited, it's a bomb either way.
I was like, I don't think that for limited, I don't think that difference is that big.
No, it's a bigger difference in constructed or cubed for sure.
Yeah, so I still think this is fantastic. 7?
I think so. Yeah, very good.
The Sun Warriors, 4 mana for a 3/4 Firebending X, where X is the number of creatures you control. And you can pay 5 to create a 1/1 white ally creature token. I'm trying to itch my eye and read at the same time, which is not super effective. Yeah, for Boros, easy game. There's zero reason you're not triggering this when you're attacking on turn 5. So, great. X is the number of creatures you control. Yeah, you're gonna be on 5. You're gonna firebend 3 at least in Boros. I think that's fine. You just play all your creatures out pre-combat, and then you can firebend and do the thing. So this is another very, very good card that I'm happy to have. So that would be 6.5.
That's where I am. I feel like a few of the other uncommons were a little bit more intrinsically powerful that we had as 7s, but I think this is still very.
Yeah. Yeah, I think 6.5. Tolls of War. 2 mana. When this enters, create a clue. When you sacrifice a permanent during your turn, create a 1/1 white ally creature token. This ability triggers only once a turn. We found it! We found the thing that makes Orzhov work. This is 100% what you need in Orzhov. It's like low impact, but it's going to make every single card in your deck so much better. 7.
You still need what it doesn't do, and I cannot remember the name of the card from Aether Revolt that was black-white sacrifice themed. But it came with its own. It was a sacrifice outlet as well, which this isn't. So that's the one thing it's missing, but it's still exactly what Orzhov wants.
Yeah, you still have the issue of finding solid sack outlets, but at least once you've done that, you don't have to worry about also the fodder.
Agreed.
This is just so good. And it even makes the first piece of fodder for you, because most of the things can sacrifice artifacts or creatures, so you don't even have to have any of it. I think this is exactly where I want to be.
Hidden Stockpile is the one I'm thinking of.
Nice. Toph Hard-Headed Teacher. 4 mana for a 3/4. When it enters, discard a card. If you do, return target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard to your hand. Whenever you cast a spell, Earthbend 1, if that spell's a lesson, you may put an additional counter on that land. This feels very good for what this deck wants to be doing, but it's like fine impact for a rare. 7?
I think so. The first part of the card is interesting for Gruul. Like, that feels like one of the least likely color pairs where you have a lot of instants or sorceries. Now you still could have a burn spell or a fight spell. Like, it's not dead by any means.
Yeah. I like that this is specifically the moment where Toph is teaching Aang earthbending, so tying that in with the lessons feels very good to me.
Okay. Yep. Yeah, that fits. Sounds like it fits flavor-wise.
And I'm sure we're going to keep scrolling. I bet you there's going to be 5 more Toffs that are a little bit more on theme for what the like the archetypes are doing. And this being the teachers, I think is worth the flavor.
Spoiler: there's only one more tough.
Really? That's
I think
wild.
we had some toffs earlier that didn't begin with toff, right?
Wait, why do we have 6 Kataras? Oh, I guess that's 6 Kataras and 6 Angs, but that is including the commander stuff. So there's probably more Toffs that are in commander.
Sure.
Anyway, yeah, 7.
Yep, 7.
Quick note: this is the card that is having all the internet controversy right now. This is the art. The artist owns a company. It's a game company that makes all of its games using AI art. And so the community is saying that this is AI art. I haven't seen that be confirmed anywhere, but this artist is known and owns a company dedicated to AI art and is known for it. So this is the one with all the controversy. So if you're thinking about building it in Commander, maybe wait if you care about those kinds of things. Toff the First Metal Bender. 4 mana for a 3/3. Non-token creatures you control are lands, in addition to their other types at the beginning of your end step Metal Bend 2. This is what Maldhound played on our Decked Out episode, and we immediately got a comment saying Maldhound should not have been able to earthbend his Ichor Wellspring because it was not a land. They did not watch the player introduction or read the commander.
Or to, pay any attention to what was going on.
I think this is really cool. Toph is the first metal bender, as the name implies, and the only person in the Avatar original world first series who can metal bend. So turning Ichor Wellspring into effectively into a land that you can then bend is freaking awesome flavor wise. I think this card's amazing.
That does make sense. Allowing what represents metal in Magic, it's artifacts.
Mm-hmm.
And so turning those into being able to earthbend them or onto them, however you want to call it, makes a lot of sense.
I think this is not worth splashing. I'm going to tell you why. I don't think there's enough artifacts to earthbend onto. Now there's clues, but the clues are tokens. So when you kill them, they will not return,
and they're not affected by this anyway. Non-token artifacts.
Oh, and it says non-token. I didn't read that. Words are hard. There's 2 reasons why clues aren't good. The first one that Yank said is the only one that matters. And mine, the hypothetical one, makes me sad. Because that would be cool if you could get your clue back. You could make it a 2/2, crack it, draw a card, get your clue back, make it a 2/2. That would make my heart grow 2 sizes, which would be excellent. But we can't do that. I don't think this is worth splashing. I don't think there's enough artifacts. It's hard to cast. It's a 3/3. Earthbend 2 at the end of every end step. I feel like there is a deck that will want it. Like specifically Gruul that has a lot of other payoffs for it. Maybe you're willing to put in that red land to ensure that you're getting Earthbend 2 every turn, because that is pretty valuable. Like if you... Oh, no, that was a Golgari card, though.
Golgari, yeah. Golgari, the earthbending stuff.
Yeah, so a lot of the payoffs are Golgari, so I just don't see us doing this. I'm going to say it's a 4.
I think so. It's very much a flavor-designed card, more so than a limited card.
Yeah. 3 mana for a 4/2 for Uncle Iroh. It's a legendary firebending 1. Lesson spells cost 1 less. So you pair this with the other Iroh, and you can recast all of your lessons from your graveyard for free.
For free, yep.
It's fine. It's got fine stats with firebending. 3 mana. We're in. This is a solid 5.
It's a cheap way to get your power 4 greater things triggered in Gruul, which is nice.
Yeah, I agree with that, but I think that the lessons, this is the color pair I'm least excited to play lessons. Like, I think the premium red removal, none of it was lessons, really. Most of the green lessons were butts, especially in green, like Gruul beats. So I'm not saying you're going to have none, but I think you are going to have the least.
Yeah, you had a couple decent removal spells, but yeah, in red. But you're right, the green ones were certainly unexciting for Gruul.
So just the average number is going to be
Yeah.
low, right? So I'm kind of giving this as a, we really care about having 4 power. I really like the firebending because even if this trades, you still get to maybe do something cool with it. It's easy to cast. I like it. So 5. Maybe 5.5. Maybe.
Yeah.
5. Maybe 5.5.
5.25 it is.
Yes. We'll split the we'll split the half of a baby. Vindictive Warden, 3 mana for a 2/3 human soldier with menace, firebending 1. This creature deals 1 damage to each opponent for 3. Yeah, this is excellent.
Yep, it's Rakdos is about raid, and this is a kind of creature that can attack to trigger your other raid things because it has menace, and you get the added benefit with firebending.
Yeah. And it has menace, so you're going to be able to capitalize on that firebending. It has a built-in firebending mana sink, which I think is going to be an important thing to find, because a lot of cards have firebending, but if you don't have instants or sorceries in your hand, there's not a lot to do with them. Not all of them have things built in that give you any sort of benefit. So having it built in here is really nice. I think this is a 6. I want to play this.
I think it's a 6 as well. I don't know why I just thought of this, but I think it's kind of funny that firebending mana a lot of times could be used for waterbending costs.
Because it's instant.
which is kind of maybe a flavor fail there.
A little bit. Wandering Musicians, 4 mana for a 2/5. When this creature attacks, creatures you control get +1/+0 until end of turn. So it attacks as a 3/5 for 4. It's an ally. It makes your other stuff bigger. I think that's fine. I think this is a 5.
I think so.
And Boros wants to be pumping everything else as Anthem style, and this is not likely to die.
Yeah, that helps a lot. The fact that you're pumping a bunch of your other stuff makes it far less likely that they can dedicate the double block to this.
Yeah, exactly. And if they do, you're probably hitting them for a good wallop.
Yep.
Awesome. White Lotus Reinforcements, 3 mana for a 2/3. Vigilance. Other allies get +1/+1. Yes, sure. Please.
Yep. Great.
I think this deck is going to be very accidentally good. I think if you are a new player going to a pre-release and you have a decent amount of Selesnya cards, you can't go wrong. I'm not saying it's your best build, but I'm saying it's just going to accidentally work. It can't really not work.
I'm starting to think that was it the red lesson that was like deal 4 to something or 1 to everything your opponents have is going to, that one is going to be a lot more relevant.
Not with White Lotus Reinforcements on the battlefield.
True. Then you need the black, everything gets -2/-2.
I like that you can see these are the other White Lotus leaders, masters of their various bending. So this is Sokka's Swordmaster Teacher. I think this is Paku. I don't know who this is. And then I think this is just a generic waterbender. I don't remember anybody having this ponytail.
Okay.
But yeah. Anyway, I think that card's good. What are we rating this card?
Feels like a 7.
I think so. Oh. I think you're right. I think this one in the back is Zhang Zhang. The one without the hat. I don't think any of these guys have hats on.
Yeah.
I think the smallest one, I think that's Zhang Zhang. And then this was just probably a flag bearer, so it's probably nobody.
Yeah.
Zhang Zhang's hair is kind of crazy a little bit. And the other one's Master Paku for sure. All right, Zhao, Ruthless Admiral, 4 mana for a 3/4 human soldier, firebending 2. When you sacrifice another permanent, creatures you control get +1/+0. That's exactly what I want to be doing in these colors. We make a lot of clues. Rakdos is sub-secondary sacrifice colors.
Yep.
So
and wants to be attacking a lot. So
yep, this is exactly what I want to be doing. So with the firebending, I'm actually pretty happy with this. 6.5.
Sure.
Zuko, Conflicted, 2 mana for a 2/3 human rogue. At the beginning of your first main phase, choose one that hasn't been chosen, and you lose 2 life. Draw a card, +1/+1 counter on him, add 1 red mana, exile Zuko, then return him to the battlefield under an opponent's control. Huh.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the last part of that is like flavor, right? That's why that's kind of happens in the story. He goes to the other side, right?
Mm-hmm. My initial thought is like, okay, I'm going to use this as like a bargaining chip in Commander. I'm like, hey, I'll do you a solid. I'll kill this other thing. But I'm going to choose the one where I exile and give it to you. And then on your turn, you exile and give it back in payment in payment for me killing something else or attacking someone. That's where it's at. Yeah, I think this is 2 mana for a 2/3, and then at the beginning of your first main phase. So it immediately attacks as a 2 mana 3/4, draws you a card, adds a mana, and then you're in Rakdos, you could just sacrifice this.
Yeah, it's interesting that it's
get another card draw or whatever, right?
Yeah, I guess it has to because of the way the last thing worked. But the fact that every turn you keep this, you lose 2 life hurts too.
That is a lot. I immediately forgot about that. I'm running on fumes here, Yanks.
So if your opponent's at, you play this and your opponent's at 2, just give it to them right away.
Oh, that's so funny. That's messed up. That's so messed up, actually. Yeah, you're just like, cool, wow. They can't do it right away. It's the beginning of your first main phase, so you have to keep it.
You're the first time you get the choice.
Yep, that's pretty funny. I think this is playable, but it is super situational. Yeah. If it was not in Rakdos or Orzhov, I think I'd be way more worried about it.
Yeah, as long as I have a reliable way to sacrifice this to gain value.
And even if you're not sacrificing it, I still don't think it's all that bad, but it has a pretty wide power range. So I'm gonna say this is a 6. I think I'm playing it.
I think I am too.
But I think it's gonna bite me in the ass as many times as it's gonna win the game.
Probably.
That's it for Multicolor. We've completed the entire set review. Make sure you guys get in the comments. Let us know what you guys think of it. If you missed the colors or colorless, make sure you guys check out those other videos. They're already live. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. It helps us a ton. And we'll see you guys for tomorrow. We're going to be doing our very first draft during the Streamer Early Access event. Bye, guys.